All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I'm with Sean and Andrew again. Say hi, guys.
What's up? I like that new intro, Jim.
All right, thank you. That was my Matthew McConaughey. All right. I didn't get to play much games this week. I've been working too damn much. But the big gaming news this week is Google Stadia. Um, I'm going to go right to Andrew on this one because I know you were making it quite clear. Like you weren't too interested in this, Andrew. And for those of you,
No.
yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Google Stadia is a live streaming platform. It's all done kind of via Netflix, like an app that's going to go on your TV, phone, something, anything with Chrome. They say is going to be able to run this. But I'll flip it over to you, Andrew. Like, what are your problems with this?
My question is, how the hell are they going to get 10 teraflops of power through an app and a control?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. And my other issue is that, really just that. There's no console. It's just a controller that you basically play on the TV, which I know Xbox is doing something similar with the I forget what the heck they call it. It's like the cloud Xbox. I'm just going to call it Xbox Cloud because I don't remember the actual name of it, but where you can play anywhere. So I don't really understand that. And the controller, I know I said it to you guys in the chat, but the controller looks exactly like the Switch and Xbox controller.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird, but you know, the best controller, I guess you gotta model it after.
So I'm just gonna.
Really?
I'm not ignoring you, Sean, here, but I just like I feel like I want to give some like context to this. So it's streaming. Word out of the gate was in order for a 1080p image, you need to have 25 megabits per second internet speed in order to get 1080p at 60 frames a second. And in order to get 4K, you need 30 megabits per second for 4K and 60. And the 10 teraflops is pretty much, on their side, it's just they have to deliver that image to you. And that's kind of my problem with this is that even the demos that they showed, you could see buffering, you could see artifacting, you could see that. And the idea of the entire thing is awesome because it's just like, hey, anybody with a TV, a phone, anything can play any game, which is kind of cool. So it would be like, we could talk to somebody at work and be like, oh yeah, this game Division 2 is awesome. You know, you're doing all this thing. You can sell them on the game and it's not that problem anymore of like, oh, I don't have an Xbox. I don't have a PS4. It's, oh no, just go right on there and buy it. You don't have to, have that console. But what about you, Sean? What do you think about it?
Kind of excited. I mean, it's kind of a peek into what gaming will be for the future. Games is a streaming service. It's pretty cool to see that it's kind of in its infancy now. See where it goes from here. But no, I'm excited. I think the controller sucks, but that's just me being biased, I guess.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna judge the controller just yet because the one cool thing I do like that they did. It seems like they've been thinking about it is the controller's Wi-Fi, so it's not going Bluetooth to like your TV or infrared or something like that, where it's going to add an additional delay. That Wi-Fi is going directly to their server, so it's cutting down that.
I think that's great. It's just the look of it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Disgusts me, you know.
Mm-hmm. I get whatever. You judging it before you touch it. I get it.
He just doesn't like Xbox.
Yeah, I don't like the D-pad of it. The D-pad is very weird.
It is very weird.
Now, don't get my things about it wrong. Like, I think it's cool. I'm excited to play it, but I see a lot of flaws in the system. But I guess if anyone's going to do it, Google is the one that I would expect to get it right.
Yeah, either them or Microsoft. And I'm not saying that being like Xbox fan, but it is the Microsoft builds computers. They have the networking. They have the infrastructure to do it too. They got the money.
Well, that's why Xbox is doing it right now.
Yeah,
because they're already ahead of the game in terms of that networking and
Yeah, and I mean they're building all of this on top of like the YouTube base. It's pretty much like a YouTube stream that you're getting.
Yeah.
And with that, you're getting all of the caveats that come along with like YouTube's version of Twitch. So one of the things that they shared that was interesting, I think it's a cool idea, but I don't really think it's going to work in practice, is you can share your exact save state of a game. So like you can take a screenshot of exactly where you are, and I can send it to like you two and be like, hey, can you beat my high score after this part? Um, it's kind of weird. I think it's a kind of way of like almost like cheesing a game, because it's just like, oh, I can't get past this level, and somebody can be like, oh, here is the start of level 8. You can just jump right in from there. You can jump.
It's like, Andrew, I know you're trash. Let me help you beat this level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 No, I am trash always, so that's a good thing.
I know a lot of games have done stuff like this where like you can share levels and you can have that cross progression type thing, but I mean they've never really taken off. But I mean that could just be me not understanding exactly what future game this is going to work on. And that's the other problem.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's just the other problem with the entire like press conference. Like I get to the game developers conference, but YouTube did a lot of telling us and a lot of saying, hey, imagine all of this without showing us it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my other problem with it, was like, they're like, imagine, one of the cool things was like, oh, you're playing a multiplayer game. You can each pretty much have a system as your screen on the same television. So I would imagine that being is like, hey, I could have two versions of the Division 2 going on the same TV where me and my wife can be playing the same game at the same time, same TV, two consoles essentially feeding into that same thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't show us it. That's
the issue.
and they didn't give us a release date really. They just said 2019, which if the fact that they didn't show us anything, I think that's going to get pushed. I think this is going to be something that's going to be like it's going to come out in beta form again in 2019, and
I agree.
I
think we see PS5 before we see Stadia.
Yeah, and PlayStation is very mysterious right now on what the heck they're doing.
I'm willing to bet that PlayStation comes out. The next PlayStation comes out before them.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a event tomorrow for PlayStation. Was this one just indies, was it? Or was it just do you know what it was about? Because
they all they said about it was it was going to be, they called it something else, but it's basically like a Nintendo Direct of Sony, and it's they said they're going to show games and talk about upcoming releases or something like that. They didn't really even say 100% what they're going to do other than games. So, kind of leaves the door open for anything. But, me personally, I think it's going to be PlayStation 5.
Do you think we're going to get that announcement tomorrow?
The only reason I say that is because the whole thing with them and E3 is they've always said June's too late to have the retailers buy up what they want for the holiday. When they announced PS4, it was in February and released that November. So now we're March, we're a month after, not too far of a distance away. Correlates with that, and all the rumors that PlayStation 5 is coming. It's kind of, and they dropped that last week. Oh, hey, by the way, we're having this. Like, it just kind of just fits. I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be PlayStation tomorrow.
Sean, you look concerned.
No, I'm
He's like, crap, I'm having a kid, and now I got to buy a PlayStation 5.
Well, honestly, that's like the balancing act. I mean, if I have to pre-order anything tomorrow, I'm fucked. Oops, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
If you have to pre-order it and get Avengers tickets, that here's my bank account.
Yeah, dude, 100%. No, it's definitely exciting. I mean, if you are right, Andrew, I don't personally think that. If that's the case, I'm totally excited for that. I just think it's going to be more of the same, like what they were going to show off, like what they would have shown off at E3, like a little like Ghost of Tsushima, maybe Last of Us 2, games like that. Maybe another thing for Days Gone before it's released. Little things like that. I feel like it might be. If it is PlayStation 5, I mean, I my mind will be blown.
Watch, we're saying all this is going to be like some stupid indie games that people don't even give a shit about.
It could be anything, but I mean, we're speculating. Nothing's happening.
I don't know. I just think it's so weird that the way they've been playing this E3 thing. Oh, we're not going to this. We're doing this. Retailers don't have enough market when it's late. And it's around the same time frame they did PlayStation 4. So,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, it just, to me, it correlates. Like, there's no.
No, I was feeling it too. I think tomorrow may be a PlayStation 5. I don't think we'll get any specs. I think we'll maybe get like a teaser trailer. They may show off like the console and controller or something like that.
Yeah, like how Xbox did the like the boom boom, like all the pictures of it and the people playing on it. And but if it is, it might get us again tomorrow for an emergency podcast.
Yeah, oh yeah, well definitely.
Yeah, if that's the case, we'll definitely be back here tomorrow.
Yeah. I got to set my alarm for that too.
That'll be a good birthday present though. PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Yes, it would. Whose birthday? Yours?
Mine, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday! I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
Shameless plug.
I know.
You can use Twitch Prime subs. This is
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Here's $5.
All right, going down the speculation rabbit hole here, because Google just came out and said that theirs is 10.2, 10.7 teraflops. What do you think PlayStation 5's teraflops will be? I doubt they'll announce it tomorrow, but like, where do you think it's going to line up?
Supposedly, from what I saw, it's going to be the rumors is that it's going to be just a more powerful version of the PlayStation 4. Nothing crazy different. So I think PlayStation's at 5 right now.
And they say 4.2, 4.1?
4.2, and then Xbox is what, 6.4, I think it said.
Yeah.
And then the Stadia was 10 point, would you say 10.2?
10.1, I think, right? 10.1.
So my guess is it probably is around what the Scorpio's at, maybe a little higher. Because you're definitely not going to go lower than the Scorpio.
Oh yeah,
or I keep calling it the Scorpio. It's the X.
What I've heard is it's a little bit more powerful than that from one of the rumors, but nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, my point being that you're not going to go less than what the Xbox One X is. You're going to at least match it or go higher.
Yeah,
I would assume higher. You probably go to 7. It would be my guess, and then the next Xbox would be around that same one. But I think the next console is going to be the last one, and then they're just going to do like hardware upgrades via the cloud and stuff like that. The next one's probably going to be it. So you need to make sure it's powerful is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and the reason I'm thinking about this is because in gaming right now, it's about like owning the moment. That's why Sony left E3 is they don't want to share the space, with everybody else. Yeah. And with having Google announce, their GDC thing, they came out, they said, 10 point, whatever teraflops. And they said, compared to the previous generation. So I think last week was about Google getting in the spotlight, showing their 10 teraflops, and then we heard about Sony's thing. So I think Sony waited, like Google have, its time, and then maybe they're going to come out and blow the doors off with like 12 teraflops or something. Like I doubt it'll be. Yeah, I really hope so because, like, I would be kind of upset if they came out and they're like, "Oh, it's 8 teraflops," because I'm like, "Oh." It's still not as powerful as the Google thing, even though it's not really going to work. But
what do you think that would cost?
See, I'm not good with computer stuff, but I mean, it would have to be, no more than 500. That would have to be the tops.
Because that was the thing they always said about the Xbox One X is, oh, it could be like $1,000 console. But you got to make sure it's your consumers are still able to afford it. So what didn't PlayStation 4 debut at 500?
Yeah.
It did debut at 500?
Or it was 5 or 6.
No, it wasn't 6.
Oh no, PlayStation 3 was $600.
Yeah, PlayStation, that's what I'm thinking of. Then.
Yeah,
That
and
was,
then PlayStation
No, you know what? Yeah,
4
now
was 400.
I think it was 400 because Xbox debuted at I think 5, right?
Yeah. Xbox debuted at 5 because of the Kinect, and then
I do remember that.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that was
right.
4, yeah.
So my guess is it'll probably be around that same price range. I'd say 6 is probably the highest you could possibly go, where people will still be like, okay, like I can get this.
Yeah,
you go, and I mean 6 is pushing it. Like
it's really.
I see a 600 price tag on a console. I'm like, oh.
Well, I mean, they could be marketing it like, hey, this is the last Sony console ever.
Yeah, but
that you need.
If they say to you, oh, this is the last Sony console, it's $1,000. Are you buying it?
Well,
$1,000.
I don't know. I'd wait for a sale. Probably.
Yeah,
what are the Black Friday deals?
There's no way that they can put it over 6. There's just no way. People aren't going to buy it. People will be like, I might as well just get a PC at that point. Your console market is people that don't want to pay to have the PC. They don't have that money, so they get the consoles to play the games that they want to play. If a lot of the people that have the money, that's why they play on PC, because they can afford the higher end PC. The consoles are for I don't want to call it a value gamer because like consoles are expensive in themselves, but that's kind of what it is. Is you don't want to pay the $1,200 for a mega PC, so I'm going to pay half of that and still be able to pay the same thing, and it looks good on a different device.
Yeah, I do think Sony will stay away from the $600 price tag. I think $500 will be the most because that PlayStation 3, that's going to be the headline. If they come out with something $600,
I remember when PlayStation 3 dropped, people were like, "Oh my God, there's no way I can afford that."
Yeah,
and that's why it went down. Like it was like after a month or so, it like immediately went down because people weren't buying.
Well, and back then that was only for. I mean, the Xbox 360 at that time was only a 20 gig hard drive too, but it was only a 60 gigabyte hard drive, and there was one version without even HDMI input on it. It was a 20 gig, it didn't have Wi-Fi, and it was only like $100 less. So
the Xbox One X was 500, or still is 500. So Sony has to compete with that because that's your main competitor, obviously. So you make it 6, you're $100 over. Say they make it 7 teraflops, it's 0.6 more than the Xbox. People are going to be like, is 0.6 worth the extra $100? I might as well just get an Xbox. So, I mean, from that perspective, they're going to market it to the same price point.
Now, the other thing is too is like Sony's been very quiet.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past Sony to come out with something $400, be taking a loss at it to kind of just put the stake in Xbox and just like finish them off. Because I mean, Xbox has been making up ground. Sony's been definitely biding their time over something. So
Nintendo's outsold both of them last month.
The
Switch outsold both the Xbox and the PlayStation.
But overall, console sales-wise,
obviously,
still. And I mean, I feel like they did that last time.
100 million, right? They just did that 100 million controller and headset collection, right? And the console was 100 million.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
it was
like
a blue
limited
one.
Edition blue.
I didn't see that.
That was pretty.
No, but I feel like they did the exact same thing with when they released the PlayStation 3 at $600. I mean, Xbox was how much back then? 360.
That was only like 300, I think.
So I mean, automatic. I know I had both, but I only had both. I had an Xbox 360 originally. I didn't have a PlayStation 3. I came home from school one day and my dad bought one just out of the blue, and I was like, "Oh my God, we have a PlayStation."
But I don't think these consoles aren't. I wouldn't be shocked if they'd make it 400, and it wouldn't be a loss because they're not going to put a disc tray in it. So you're taking it all out.
Yeah, you're definitely saving on hardware and all that. And I mean,
the Xbox coming out, there's an Xbox coming out that doesn't have a disc tray in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like kind of like the mid-bridge. Okay, this is what we're doing going forward. Like, so you're gonna get people used to that. And I don't know how much like the disc tray player and stuff costs to make in a console, but you could probably $100-$200 you can knock off a price for that.
Yeah,
So,
like not even like the disc reader, the disc, the disc tray, everything. Yeah.
And you can add more space to the console with whatever else you want to put in that thing. So $400 might not be a off thing, Jim. Like $400 might be a price that they could do and still make money off of.
I was looking it up right now because there was, and you reminded me when you're talking about that Xbox, there was some type of
there was a picture or something that leaked of the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an X too, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's an S.
Oh, it's an S.
Yeah, and it's reportedly launching May 7th. There's some documents that were released, and I think there is like a digital stream coming up soon for Microsoft that they're probably going to announce it at. But apparently, it's going to be
they do that Inside Xbox every week, so it'll probably be on one of them.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be like they said, like at least $50 cheaper. And for me, I'm actually like, that's actually a good idea because like I have the Xbox One X up here. If I want to play something with my wife or something like that. And it doesn't have the 4K Blu-ray player in it, but for $150, something I can, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point though, is like you can put, you're going to be able to slash these prices a little bit. Not that they will, maybe they just make it $500 regardless, but.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to add, guys? If not, I'll move on to our next thing.
No, I'm just really excited for tomorrow, see what they got in store.
We just got our hopes up for nothing. They're just going to show off like Last of Us again.
Tomorrow might turn out to be a very expensive day.
It could. But I mean, this is just all speculation,
Yeah,
so.
Obviously.
Even if they do announce it tomorrow, I don't think pre-orders will go up yet. I think it's going to be, they'll probably go up around
specs, you got to show what's in that baby before,
Yeah, pre-orders probably wouldn't go up until they officially list everything, because I think that was the same thing with the X. Yeah. When they announced it, the pre-orders didn't go live until like 3-4 months later.
Yeah.
I mean, can you even pre-order the Stadia now?
No.
Yeah, so.
Well, Stadia is going to be free for everybody. It's just going to be, you got to buy the games.
Yeah,
okay.
But that was the thing, with the Switch too. Remember they had that weird commercial with the Switch they showed everybody first, and then it was a couple months later they did the same thing. So, all right. Speaking of the Switch, Cuphead got announced on Switch. Microsoft and Nintendo being best friends here, leaving those Sony fanboys out in the. And it was actually the rumor he confirmed it, was Microsoft actually asked Studio MDHX to port it onto the Switch. It was Microsoft's decision, not even the studio, which, I mean, just shows, I mean, being like a Nintendo fanboy, I'm excited because I really don't think Nintendo's going to share any of their licenses to Microsoft. But at the same time, I wouldn't be completely upset with it because, I mean, Microsoft right now has the most powerful console out there, and I would love to see Mario in 4K and stuff like that.
Can you imagine?
But, I mean, hey, even to get, like, Master Chief on the Switch or, like, Gears of War.
Hey, what did I say a few months ago? Master Chief in Super Smash Brothers, man.
Yeah. It very well could happen. I mean, it sounds like we're going to get that live streaming through the Switch too, so we'll get some version of it. And if not, I mean, Microsoft's going to share its indie titles and stuff like that with Switch, which is great for everybody. Have either one of you guys played Cuphead?
Yes, and it pissed me off beyond belief.
Yeah,
this is the hardest game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, I never got into it. I have heard it's like pretty hard though.
Dude,
yes, it's very difficult.
There's no difficulty. It's just you go through, you just die.
My wife always used to watch me play it, and she's like, oh, you just suck at it. Like, you're just terrible. Like, no, it's that hard. But she actually notified me of the announcement. She was really excited about it. And she's like, oh, like, I want it. Like, can we get it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, but it's really difficult. She's like, it's not that bad. Well, I put it on the Xbox the other day and let her play it. And she didn't even get halfway through the first level. And she's just like,
If you look at it, though, it's smart partnership because a lot of Nintendo is little kids. Little kids play games that
mhm.
Xbox is going to port over. Then
Yeah.
kids are like, oh, let me get a console. What console am I going to get? Games I already played.
Yeah.
What it's saying is little kids play Xbox, and that's it.
Well, that's the other thing about Cuphead.
Never
is that-
been in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare lobby?
Yes.
It tells you all you need to know about Xbox kids.
Yeah, they're savages. I do hope they come out with a lower difficulty on the Switch just for kids, because that's how I want to play it. I actually want to see the entire game instead of the first. I think I beat the first 4 levels or something like that.
I don't even think I beat that.
All right. Well, moving on to the game that we have all been playing. Well, you guys more than me because, like I said, I've been busy. Division 2. I want to
Yes.
start off, Sean, because I haven't talked to you much about it at all. I've been playing with Andrew. How are your experience so far? How much have you played?
Well, since you left me alone in DC to fend for myself,
I do.
no, I've been having a really, really good time with it. Combat is way better than I thought it was. I know we were on here talking about the demo, and I don't know why. I just feel like it's personally like night and day difference between the demo and the actual finished product. I went back saying that there was a lot of bullet sponginess still in the demo. That is not the case anymore. It's I could take 3 or 4 enemies out with a clip if I have a powerful enough weapon. Of course, that's a huge factor in it too. But no, I mean it's a gorgeous world. I love seeing that there's wildlife just everywhere, like raccoons, deers, dogs, like just running throughout the overgrown streets and all that. The AI is kind of dumb, but also kind of like they really like they gun after you when they know you're in trouble. Like they just throw everything they could possibly throw at you. I mean, I've died. I was actually just playing not too long ago, right before we started the podcast. I played the hardest boss I've ever played in the division. It was I'm like level 13, so it was like a moderate like level mission, but I was trying to extract the radio out of this like little like satellite looking thing. And like right as I extracted it, the wall blows out, and this big dude, like in hulking armor, just walks out, and I'm hitting him. I have the chem launcher with the thing that dissolves the armor, and I'm hitting him with it. I'm like, this is like nothing. It's like doing nothing. I'm like, this is unbelievable. And then you have like 15 other guys like flanking you. It was crazy. I died like 6 times. I was like, come on.
We were actually talking about the AI the other day because the AI will lay on the ground and
Yes.
shoot you. And I think that's the coolest thing.
I've never seen that in a game where like they just like willingly go prone, and like sometimes I'm like, where am I getting shot from? I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, this dude's on the ground.
There was a guy that I was shooting was laying on top of an RV and shooting down at me, like prone on the RV. I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. Like they're like kind of hiding.
Yeah, and I mean, I like how the different AIs have different personalities. Like, there's the one that runs at you, which we call Karen, because he or she always goes after Andrew every time.
Andrew was telling me about that.
I just stay back and just.
There's today when I was playing, I was just walking around, and a lot of the AI will just be scavenging when you're in random areas. So I don't know if any of you guys saw that. They'll be looking through like loot boxes and stuff.
Oh, really? I didn't see that yet.
And it'll say scavenging. Well, today I was hiding behind a bus, and these 3 guys were coming over, and they stopped, and they were having their own conversation. And he's like, dude, I could do more push-ups than you. And the other guy's like, he's like, my grandma could do more push-ups than you, and she's been dead 15 years. And then the guy started doing push-ups on the ground, and the guy was like, come on, you got to go all the way down. You got to go all the way down. So then I just come over and start shooting them. But it was so cool because like they were just doing like their own thing in the middle of the street. Like, and I'm just sitting behind a bus watching them. It was the coolest thing. I never seen that like in a game before, where the AI is just kind of doing its own
They do
stuff.
whatever they want. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I did not see that.
Yeah. I wish I was like streaming. I wish I like got it because it was like that was like one of the coolest things I've seen.
That's awesome. Now, Andrew, and Sean, but Sean first. What perks did you choose? Because you said the chem launcher. Like, what else? What was the other abilities?
Yeah, so since I'm level 13, I've done a couple missions where like I've unlocked more skill points. Um, I've unlocked. I started off with the Seeker Mine with the cluster,
Mhm.
like branch. So I had that going for a while, and then I had the regular machine gun turret, and those are my two for a while. After that, I did the chem launcher with the armor dissolvent. So it's really useful. I mean, you can use it against regular enemies too. You hit them with it, and then it just like over time like chips away at their health, and it actually does a lot of damage, especially on the squishier targets over the armored ones. So I did that. That's really cool. I did the fixer drone for the health. Like it just like
Okay.
fixes you toss it out, it like replenishes your armor and all that as you're like in combat, which is basic I feel. And then the one I really found really cool was the hive. The I got the hive, the stinger mod.
I got.
Yeah, that's
Did you
Andrew
do the
got that
stinger
one.
one? Oh my god, it's so cool! Just like throwing it in the middle of a cluster of enemies, and then
That's what I threw it today, and it was 3 guys, and
Yeah.
literally took them all down. I didn't even have to fire a
Yeah,
shot;
just
it just killed
destroys
them. It was
Yeah.
that one's awesome. I didn't think it was going to be that cool, but it is.
like the problem was that like when you read the description, I think the description was like, throw it out and let it distract your enemies, and like you're like, oh, okay, distract your enemies.
Well, that's why I got
Like,
it, because he has the smoke.
Yeah.
And by smoke, I have the chem launcher that is the flammable one where you shoot it, it bursts. And me and Andrew been playing together, and that we have a good system on that one. We had the other night we had like 4 guys in a row. We got
Yeah,
all
they're like
with
on
it.
a bridge.
Yeah, on a bridge, and it was beautifully done. Of course, then like
He
6 other
threw
guys
it, and
ran
I
into us.
shot it right as he threw it, and it just lit them all up.
Now, what level are you, Andrew?
I believe I got to level 8 today.
Oh, cool.
I didn't do any missions though. I'm waiting for Jim. I'm not doing any of the missions.
I'll jump
Okay.
on tonight. We'll do some more.
I've only done like the strongholds without him, and I've done like just getting like the different caches around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've just been doing that and really just walking around exploring, because just trying to get used to things. Like there's a bunch of underground areas that have like a lot of like supplies and stuff to replenish your strongholds after you get it. And today I didn't realize until today. So if you replenish them above 50 in each category, they stop scavenging for supplies and start defending the strongholds. So then then they can't get retaken over, I guess, by enemies at some point. They'll just defend the stronghold, so you don't have to keep going back. I haven't had a stronghold get retaken yet, but I guess that's a thing that happens. So
I mean, I've witnessed one of my strongholds getting like being defended.
yeah,
Pretty cool. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 enemies just running off the street.
yeah.
And
So
I
that's what it is then.
Yeah, I have like 3 or 4 guys like with me, like someone's on
Yeah.
the minigun, just like trying to kill them all.
Yeah,
Like,
so they don't. I guess they don't have people scavenging anymore. They just have people defending it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you get XP for donating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I've been enjoying the game. I was going to pass on it, but then I think it was like you, Sean, you started playing it and you were like, no, it's nothing like the beta. It's completely better. And the positive reviews on it, like I think it's sitting around like an 88 or something like that on like Metacritic and stuff like that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really come out of nowhere and just, I mean, not out of nowhere. Obviously, everyone knew about this game, but I mean, like, just based off of its past and what's been going on with other games like Destiny 2, Anthem. I mean, this game has just come out and it's been actually a pleasant experience. It's come out complete. They're more focused on what the end game is as opposed to, oh, let's push this thing out so we can make a financial quarter hat. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. None of us have even gotten to the end game yet, and they said the whole game is just like the end game is where the actual game starts. So.
Well, I'll tell you, from the first one, the dead zones, which are after the game, are like the most intense and fun experiences I've had. Like they're just like enemies and waves. It's just they're fun. There's just so much to do.
We almost wandered into it the one time.
Yeah, by accident.
Yeah, we were just going through this sewer we found, and like he's like, we got enemies up here, and we just look at the map, and we're like, yeah, we're in that zone right now. We want to get out of here.
It was like level 30, and we're like level 6s.
Yeah, the stronghold.
I'm like, we're out.
Yeah, the strongholds.
I'm like, I'm out.
I mean, I will definitely give full credit to Ubisoft because it seems like they're learning from their mistakes. Because, like, I mean, Division 1 wasn't really terrible, but, I mean, it had a rough launch. They definitely learned from the first one and applied it to this one. And so far, so good. I mean, they did the same thing with this year's Assassin's Creed. Like, Odyssey was fantastic. It was amazing. And, like, I mean, they learned from Origins, you know. So, I mean, they're always – looks like whatever they learn, the feedback they get from the community, they're actually implementing into the game. So,
and one of the things that they did definitely learn from the last division, I mean, like, you know, if you had from the red enemies to the purple enemies to the yellow enemies, I mean, in Division 1 they didn't have armor sets. Now in Division 2, it doesn't look like it's as spongy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get this guy coming out in a full riot gear, coming at you with a minigun. I mean, you got to chip away at his armor, and in turn, that's chipping away at his health, making him like, you know, a boss character. But it's not like, oh, there's just this huge guy with no armor on coming at me with a minigun. I put like, you know, 10 full magazines in him, and he's not going down. It looks better when you see armor like popping off of him, like you're shooting it off.
Yeah.
And
you wouldn't know when the guy was going to die. I would literally just sitting there like, fuck. Like, I can't. I'm not killing this guy.
It looks better. I mean, the enemies are still as spongy, but they made it, you know, look believable. Like in Destiny, if you're shooting an alien, you're like, oh, yeah, it could probably take that many shots to kill, like, this huge alien. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that they did is they definitely improved the environments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. was actually a really good choice for them. You know, the different museums. Like we were going through the one, you know, shooting guys at there was like the National Space Museum or something like that. I forget where we were at, Andrew, but it was really cool. I've heard that they do, you know, all different types of stuff like that. And every environment feels different. I've heard people saying that like even going through the hotels and stuff like that, it'd be like you go in like one building, it would have the same hallway as all the other ones. This one, each one's designed differently to feel like a different place, which is really cool.
Have you guys ever been to DC, by the way?
No, I've only driven past it.
When I was in like 8th grade, does that count?
Me and my wife went probably 2-3 years ago, but just based off of from what I remember going there then and looking at it now through this game, I'm like, it's like crazy. Like I was like, oh my god, we like literally walked right there.
That's why I like the Division 1 a lot, because I've been in New York so many times. But I've never been to DC, but it's still fun. Like I still love it. It's like because I'm kind of learning it as I go, because it's not like, okay, I'm in Times Square, like let me go back this way or whatever. Like I'm just kind of looking, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, other than Division 2, Sean, your game Apex finally came out with a season pass and a new character, right?
Yes, sir. Octane is the new character. He is I guess you would say like a DPS character. I mean, if we're gonna go by like hero shooter like talk, he's more like damage focused, but he's a mobility character more than anything. So his ability is he stabs himself with a syringe, which has, I guess, like adrenaline or something in it, but he gets a 30% speed boost for 6 seconds, which is overpowered because it cools down in 2 seconds. So you can keep doing this and doing this and doing this. Now, the drawback to that is that you lose 10% of your health. So you have 100 health, so you lose 10 health every time you use it.
Okay.
But his passive offsets it, because when you're not taking damage, he slowly reheals. He regenerates health, unlike any other character in Apex. They don't do that. And then his ultimate is his jump pad, which is great for getting around, like, you know, like getting up to high areas or jumping up to a zip line that you can't reach from the ground. Just super fast and fluid movements. Good for getting around enemies. Good for outrunning gunfire, because it's harder to track if you're running with like your 30% speed boost.
Okay.
But character's great. I was a little disappointed with the battle pass. I got it up right now. So you get 3 skins right off the bat from getting the pass, and they're kind of just rare tier. If you haven't played Apex, there's 4 tiers of skins. There's the commons, the rares, the epics, and the legendaries. Most other games, but I mean everything you're getting out of this pass is a rare, and it doesn't get much better than rare. Like you're not getting any epics, you're not getting any legendaries going through. You're getting a couple of like banners and things that you can put on your card, like when you're being introduced into the game or if you win. I mean, other than that, you're not getting much more content, and it's like I have better skins than most of these. Like I'm not going to use any skins, so I kind of feel like I'm doing this pass for like no reason. But the end game of it is pretty cool because you have a skin, and I believe Fortnite does this with their banana skin. Jim, I'm sorry, Andrew. I say it.
The best skin of all time.
It changes like throughout the map, right? So this gun that they have, the Havoc that they released probably a month, like maybe 2 weeks after the game came out, the skin that you get end game for level 100 of the pass, it changes gradually through the game,
cool.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. But you have to get through 100 levels of the battle pass, getting pretty crappy gear just to get this. And that's kind of made me a little mad. So I was a little disappointed with the battle pass. There's no challenges that came with it. It's just, keep playing the game and you can have this mediocre loot. So a little disappointed.
Yeah, that kind of stinks. I mean, you reminded me a little bit of it's not a great game, but it's actually the only game I've ever bought a battle pass for was the Paladins game that's free. I got really addicted to that. And like their battle pass was like $10 or whatever. And it was the same thing. Like it had a skin at the end that like I really wanted. So I played through everything. And a lot of the loot that came along with it I didn't want. But it was kind of cool though because it was exclusive to that battle pass. So it was like, hey, this is your only way to get these skins. They're not going to come back out again later. So
yeah,
even though
Fortnite does.
What was that?
Fortnite does the same thing. You can only get the skins through the battle pass. You can't ever get them again.
And that here too, but like I'm literally looking at it right now, going through it. Mm-hmm. There's one more character skin, and that's for Octane, and it's a rare skin. So it's not even. It's just it's a color. It just changes.
Not like a legendary skin or something.
There's no legendary skins in this battle pass. Only for one weapon there's a legendary skin, and other than that, you get one pack that guarantees you a legendary weapon skin. But it's at random. I don't know. I was just really like. Really let down with this battle pass. I was really looking forward to it, and
that sucks.
Yeah, maybe PUBG will be revived with theirs now.
Yeah, I put that in here too. PUBG. Now, did they announce that there's a battle pass coming, or did it actually come out?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's called like the PUBG like something pass, but it's basically the same thing as every other game's doing. Mm-hmm. They want people to play it again.
Yeah. Well, PlayerUnknown himself, the creator of the game, he's no longer working on Battlegrounds. He just started up like his own separate studio, but it's the same company. It's just like a separate division. Mm-hmm. So he's working on the future of games is what they're saying. If that means Battle Royale or what, we're not sure.
He's going to come out with something else and that everyone else is going to copy again. He's going to be back to the same place.
See, I don't follow PUBG that much, but like I know from before, I remember like about I think it was maybe 2 years ago when what the heck is the guy's name who was the big PUBG streamer with a mustache and
Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect. I remember him and Dr. Disrespect getting into it on like Twitter or something like that. And I always just have the vision of him as the guy from Grandma's Boy, the real nerdy guy. Like I invent the future of games. But I got that vision again when he was like announced they're making his own studio for this. So, but I mean, hey, if he does it again, he's good. That pretty much wraps up like what we've been playing this week, what the news and stuff like that.
There's one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I was gonna ask.
Me and Jim went and saw it last night. Saw it early.
Yes.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Shazam. Now, without spoilers, because we were blessed enough to go see it before everyone else.
Mhm.
What was it, 3 weeks early, right?
Yeah. It's very fun. As dark of a movie as it is, there's a lot of comedy that lightens it up.
Mhm.
Definitely go see it when it's in theaters. Support the movie because it might just be the future of DC going forward.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Wonder Woman's kind of like the template to go up against.
Batman and Superman were announced as leaving. They're the actors who play them. Ben Affleck's out and Henry Cavill's out. Yeah. So you have to reboot that regardless. I think they keep Aquaman because that movie did really well, which I'm going to watch tonight, actually, even though I said that 2 weeks ago. And Wonder Woman you can keep because that movie did really well as well. And I think they just did the second one. I think the second one's coming out soon.
Yeah, 1984 or something like that.
Yeah. But I think Shazam is going to be your, I don't know if I want to call it the Iron Man of DC going forward, but it's possible that this is like the start of the whole reboot of it because of what happens. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Now, I just, thinking off the top of my head, I mean, do you remember in Batman vs. Superman where the Flash comes in, like, Bruce is like dreaming, I guess, of the future possibly. Yeah. Do you think maybe the Flash kind of like something happens in the present and the Flash runs back in time trying to like get like a younger Bruce Wayne or like a younger like Superman, like, and then obviously like that's when they can like change, character, like, you know what I mean? Change actors.
Well, it's hard because I can't really say what happened.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm just going like like everyone else who hasn't seen it.
They kind of showed somebody without showing
who
it is.
Okay.
Like someone had a cameo, but didn't show a face or anything like that. It was just like, oh, here's this person.
Okay.
But all you saw was like the symbol and the suit. You didn't see like there was no actor or whatever in it
tied to it. Okay,
like tied to it. So it was just like it was like from here to like down to his feet. So like all you saw was like the suit.
Okay. Yeah. Now, did you hear the person
who was extremely good? Like. It was. I was shocked at how good the movie actually was.
Mm-hmm. No, you didn't hear the person's voice though for what Andrew was talking about. The person they didn't show. You didn't hear a voice or anything like that.
Yeah, it was just they just appeared on the
screen. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it was really good. Like it was. Like I was talking to a guy at our work, Larry, about it. He said, it looked a little cartoonish in the trailers and stuff like that. Which, I mean, it definitely had more of a fun vibe to it, with also being dark at the same time. But like, I really, really want to praise like I don't know the guy's name who played the adult version of Shazam.
This is like Zach Levi. Levi or something like that.
But his performance was completely believable. At no time did I think that this was a grown man just pretending to be the kid. Like it was when he was Billy, he was him. Like it was the same person. And like I when I was driving home, I was like, holy crap! Like never once was I like, oh, that's just an actor playing him. Like no, it's the same kid. So like he was very believable in his performance.
Did you see any interviews of him like before the movie came out of the Levi talking about the role?
No, I didn't.
So he was saying that he was like, all these people getting to play superheroes, like you have to play like kind of like an edgy, like, take this serious, like, super serious. He's like, I get to play a kid, like, act like a kid while being a superhero. He's like, he's like,
And
I have a different,
that shows, like,
yeah.
It does,
you
yeah.
can tell
He was
he's
like,
being a kid. Like,
yeah, he said I had a different experience, like, at it, and he said it was probably one of the best experiences, like, he had as an
that's what
actor.
made it so good was
Yeah.
that, and it's in such a dark universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a couple times I turned to Jim, I'm like, this definitely ain't a Marvel movie, bro.
Yeah.
like there's times like it was like actually like scary. Like because the whole thing deals with like the 7 deadly sins. So like greed, gluttony, whatever. So it's pretty dark. Like it's almost like demons.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I guess
is,
technically
yeah.
but like it's like like Shazam has to be like pure of soul. Like that's the only person that could be Shazam. And like it was just awesome. It was just a different superhero movie. Like it was like a kid trying to find the true potential in life, or not in, I don't know if really life, but like trying to find his true potential. So it was like almost like all right, like you don't have to be a grown ass man to be a superhero.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool because it that's how it ties to the kids. Like it gets the kids interested in the thing. Like I could be a superhero, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't follow. A lot of the problems with a lot of the DC movies that I've seen is that they were kind of copy and pasting what Marvel did, like especially with like Justice League. They just tried to copy the Avengers and put their guys into it. But this one, like, it didn't follow that normal movie plot lines. Like, it did change it up some. I was surprised at moments. I was like, oh, I didn't see it, taking that turn, doing that thing, whatever. That was great. The only real criticism I have is, like, they did flesh out the villain. Like, I did completely understand the villain's motives, why he was there, like, what he was doing. But they never, like, really said his name, like, what his actual name was, not until, like, the credits. I was like, oh, that's who he was. But to me, it was no memorable DC villain that, like, I heard of before.
Yeah. Like me, I don't know about you, Sean, but I know me and Jim, like, we don't really know anything about Shazam. So everything we watched in that movie was all new to us. Like, all right, like I know who Shazam is. Like, I've seen him, and I've seen, like, the only villain that I think even Jim knows too is Black Adam. Like, and there's no obviously Black Adam, but
unless they showed something at the very, very end of the credits, but we left before that. We already got one thing, and we were like,
I don't even know. There was like, I don't even know what that was. Like,
oh yeah, I don't even know either. So I mean, I guess if you're a bigger Shazam fan, you'll know. But
yeah, I'm not as like a DC fan as I am a Marvel fan. I mean, I like both.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But like outside of like Batman, Superman, and all, like I didn't know any of the villains. Like that could have been like a big time villain in the Shazam universe, and I would have never had an idea of it.
Yeah.
But it was good nonetheless. You didn't need. I guess the point, like I think Jim was trying to make, is you don't need to know any of these guys to go enjoy that movie. Like the movie was just good on its own. Like. It was just a fun movie. It was kind of like Deadpool without all the bad words and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the humor was I think spot on. Like they
and it takes place in Philly.
Yeah, it takes place in Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah,
in awesome. Philly, the entire movie.
I have to see it then.
Well, that's really cool. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was like? Like that's the thing right now too. Like Captain Marvel came out, and we did the spoiler cast on that. And like, if you were going to ask me right now, like to go see a movie again, either Captain Marvel or Shazam, I'd probably choose Shazam because it was like just the humor of it. Like I'd love to go see that again. Like, I mean, not taking anything away from Captain Marvel, but it was like, if I'm going to take my wife to something, like, I mean, she likes the superhero stuff, but I think she'd get more of a kick out of Shazam. I think,
it was funny.
It was good.
everyone in that movie. It was a lot of known. I think almost every single person in that movie was a no-name actor or actress. Outside of, I know that the main guy, Zach, what is his name? Zach Levy?
Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
Zachary Levi. I know he was in like a show on NBC or something
It
for a
was
while.
Chuck.
Chuck, yeah. I remember watching it, yeah.
But most of them I've never even seen before. Like his like friend that's the little kid. He was in It, I think, right?
I think, yeah, you may be right. I had to look it up because I have to look it up too because the guy who played was it Billy Batson?
Yeah.
I kept thinking the whole movie, this kid looks familiar, like I know, and I still haven't looked this up. I'm looking it up now, but he looked like Arya Stark. He looked like he could be.
He did look like Arya Stark.
So I'm wondering if that's like his sister or something like that because I was like, this kid looks so damn.
But it was really fun. The humor was funny. I'd rate it up there with Captain Marvel. I really enjoyed it. I would definitely go see it again.
Definitely. I don't know. I'll look
I know
it
it
up.
made a lot of money this weekend too doing it. It passed like there was like 4 or 5 other movies that did an early screening like that, and it passed all of them in profits.
That's cool. All right.
And that was only through Fandango you could get it. So.
Oh, that was the only way.
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah, and a good showing too. There was a lot of people there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I'm looking at the IMDb right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking it up too. But
I think Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 97 right now.
Really? That's
which
good.
is awesome.
All right, going to the next thing here. This week we got some games coming out this week. I just had it and I closed it like an idiot. But the big one that I saw this week that I know Sean and Andrew, you're probably both. Well, actually, Andrew, you can't.
R.I.P.
You can't. MLB The Show comes out this week.
Rip.
Yeah, you know I'm going to be all over that.
A game I picked on my list.
Yoshi.
Yeah, so for MLB The Show, I know we talked about it maybe 2 podcasts ago.
Yeah.
But you asked me what new features there were, and there actually was a couple. But one big one was a mode that they announced probably like 3 weeks ago. It's called from March to October, and it's kind of like it's a condensed like franchise kind of like it's a condensed version of the franchise mode where you play key games going through with whatever team that you pick. So you pick your team and you get rewards based off of what team you pick. So if you pick the Phillies, as you go through, and depending on the difficulty that you pick, as you go through, you'll get a certain tier level rewards, and at the end you'll get like this like diamond card of like a really good diamond card of whatever team that you're playing as. But as you go through it, like you'll probably like play like the first game of the season opening day. Based on if you win or lose, you'll gain or lose momentum. So if you win in the game that you have to play, so if you win opening day, you gain momentum. And that then the simulated games that happen in between your next game depend on what your level is. So you'll win more games or lose more games based off of your momentum. And then you'll sometimes play you'll play full games as the entire team. And then sometimes it'll be like, oh, you have a boss battle coming up. It's going to be Aaron Nola versus like Clayton Kershaw. So then you play the entire game as Aaron Nola trying to outpitch Clayton Kershaw. And same thing with batters. You'll be like Bryce Harper up against like Max Scherzer or something like that, which is pretty cool. I mean, if you go into it thinking like it's going to be like a boss battle for like several players like going through, then you get to the playoffs, and when you get to the playoffs, you play every single game trying to win the World Series, which I think is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I'm still not getting it. I'm still terrible, but
that's fine. I'll have fun with it.
But yeah, we got Yoshi coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably I'm going back and forth on that one. I actually loved the one for Nintendo 64 back in the day, but did not like the newer ones they came out with. So I'll see how the reviews are on it.
Yoshi connoisseur.
we have another one called Danganronpa Trilogy coming out. It's all three of the games that were on the PlayStation Portable and Vita. Really, really good games. Um, if you're into kind of like a text adventure type game, it's like a murder mystery type game with like bits of uh, what the heck's that lawyer game? Ace something.
Sounds like Andrew's Saturday night.
Yeah. The Ace Attorney games, that's what it was. Yeah, but it's like that murder mystery type thing. Other than that, not much. We got Assassin's Creed 3 remastered coming out on March 29th.
For everything or just for Switch?
I
think it's already out on Xbox and PlayStation.
Is it?
It's Switch is May 21st. It says the other ones are the 29th. But it may be early access too. Like I guess if you did the season pass on Odyssey, I think you got it, or if you bought the gold edition or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then the week after that, we got another Nintendo Labo, the VR one, and that's it for the next 2 weeks. So, well, that's it. You guys got anything else to add? If not, we'll go into the post show.
Not really. But just hopefully Avengers tickets come out tomorrow.
Hopefully we get PlayStation 5 tomorrow. That'd be great.
PlayStation,
really cool too.
Tomorrow could be a big day.
It could be a massive day, and we could be back on here tomorrow talking about the same stuff, only we know more things.
Yeah. Well, until then, our sponsors are Jim's Repair Service in South Jersey. I'll link his info in our description. He can fix your appliances, air conditioning, heater, whatever. We got the summer months coming up, so make sure your air conditioner is all tuned up and working. But that'll be it for us. Until next time, stay beautiful.